a retro gamer and hobbyist artist with a lot of nerve. Crowlister, the master of ponage. Hey guys, Crowlister here with a retro gaming let's play. In this video, I will be playing Mega Man X3 in Mega Man X Legacy Collection, cause it's been a while since I did the previous games in the series.
Mega Man X Legacy Collection.
Mega Man X3 is not as difficult as some of the other games. I can legitimately beat this game without losing any stocks, as you saw by the no miss in the thumbnail. So, this is being played in Mega Man X Legacy Collection, where there are no save states, and I am playing with Rookie Hunter mode turned off. Enjoy this really long prologue. About 3.5 minutes is still really long for a prologue on, like, an SNES game. This game was originally released on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and would later get ports on the Sega Saturn and the Sony PlayStation. This is the original SNES version. Alright, so we're protecting the Maverick Hunter headquarters from enemies that are inside. this Mac character is a Maverick, as you could have guessed. At the rate the Reploids go Maverick throughout the series, there aren't going to be any good ones left outside of the Maverick Hunters. And since X got inducted, we get to play as Zero. Zero starts with more vitality and can do a double shot with his buster, and then you can do an attack with his sword, which will destroy most enemies instantaneously, if he doesn't get hit first. You have to forgive my laptop for the slight audio lag. My laptop is obviously limited with what it can record, so that's why my Let's Plays have noticeable lag. Alright, so here's that Trader Mac. We're gonna whoop him. Way to miss the saber. Well, that was not nearly as good as how I usually handle it. Anyway. This game has a tendency to cancel an input between a jump and a buster shot release. So, you know. It's almost impossible to avoid damage against the opening boss, though the boss himself is easy. At least there's no achievement in this game for beating this opening stage with full health. Alright, so with this, we get to the main part of the game. This game, like the other SNES games, has a crappy password save for game resumption. And here we go. The one that I start with is Blizzard Buffalo. The Sega Saturn and PlayStation versions of this game would have a cool cutscene at the start of every stage. You have to be careful because the ice makes it hard to stay on, and the slopes immediately send you down them. Just make sure to jump before the ones that are directly in front of the spikes, like this one. See how much damage I took from that one enemy? That's a bit harsh. Alright, give me a few attempts here. And there's a light capsule. We got the legs upgrade, and we can now dash directly after a jump. In this game, you can dash directly upward. Make sure to keep dash held down while you're dashing straight upward. And the ice can make it hard to dodge if you're on the dash, if you're on the slope, also. Alright. We're gonna get the sub-tank now that I have this upgrade. Give me a moment here. Got it. Also, these Mavericks these heli Mavericks with the missiles are really annoying. Especially since they never drop items. Alright, I gotta do some grinding and fill my sub-tank up. I'll come back after I fill it up. And I'm ready to keep going. If you're really coordinated, and if your thumb is really good for the stamina, there's a little bug in the game that you can do to take out Blizzard Buffalo without breaking the sweat. After he hits the wall, if you dash directly upward with the leg parts, he'll dash right to the wall again over and over until you stop doing so. Unfortunately, it's hard to keep the rhythm while doing that, and I couldn't sustain it the whole battle. And while he's not that hard of a boss, the damage he inflicts is quite brutal. So, I managed just enough. Alright, that's the first one down, and we get a weapon called the Frost Shield. A slow-traveling icicle that turns into a cluster of ice that damages enemies that walk over it after it lands. Alright, next, I'm gonna do the Toxic Seahorse. They call him Acid Seahorse in the Japanese version of the game. I wonder if they deemed acid to be inappropriate in the international version because of drugs. I'm not sure. That's just a little joke. Alright, there's a lot of wall jumping we gotta do here. At least in this stage, I can actually get the life up right away. If X thought like me, he would be thinking, oh, good grief, I need a bath, seriously, after having to jump through all that sewer water. Oh, convenient. This stage is, like, at the setting of a dam and a sewerage plant, so there's clean water right where the dirty water is. Gotta shoot these turtles before they chase you. Up next, we have a sub-boss. I'll take care of this Kraken. No sweat. As you can see, I didn't take any hits against him. Extra life, nice. If you pause the game, press R, and then press start, you can play as Zero in certain parts of the stage. I like to use Zero at this part of Toxic Seahorse's stage for damage protection, because it's very easy to take damage in these scenes with X alone. So I have Zero get through it for me. The game doesn't let you fight bosses with Zero. Unless you're playing that one ROM hack, of course. So as soon as you get to the boss room, you go right back to X. And then you can't use Zero again for the rest of the stage. Toxic Seahorse is a joke with the Frost Shield. Observe. I've seen speedrunners beat Toxic Seahorse even faster with the Frost Shield by using an auto-fire key. You can't auto-fire in Mega Man X Legacy Collection, though. Like you can in normal Mega Man Legacy Collection. So, yeah. If Zero dies while you're playing as him, he retreats to the Maverick Hunter headquarters and asks for Dr. Kane to repair him. And then you can't use Zero again from there. And it doesn't even cost you a life if that happens. Also, Zero cannot use any special weapons, and he can't fill your sub-tanks with health capsules. Alright, we got this air mission with Dr. Doppler and his henchmen. Alright then. Next up, I'll do the Tunnel Rhino. You know how every of the main stages in this game has a seemingly empty boss room? On the 3rd, 4th, or 5th stage, randomly decided for each playthrough, you will encounter the enemy Bits. And on the 6th, 7th, or 8th stage that you first play, random for each playthrough, you'll encounter the character Bites. Which, how you defeat them in the battle determines the sub-bosses and stages that you get in the Doppler stages. And that goes for Vile as well. Gotta be careful of the mud spills. They can force you into the spikes and kill you that way. Sub-tank, right here. And just as I figured, I got Bit on the first stage he could possibly appear in. This guy ain't easy. I have the easiest fights against him by using the Frost Shield. Now, this is important. Whether or not you rematch Bit and Bite in the first Doppler stage depends on how you beat them in the first encounter. If you defeat them with a special weapon, they'll die, and you can make the first Doppler stage a lot easier. If the final blow is, I gotta heal. And if your final hit on them is with the X-Buster, they will retreat, and they will fight you in the first Doppler stage as the boss, where they combine to become a super monster called God Car Machine Oinari, which is very annoying to battle, by the way. Unfortunately, there's an achievement in the Legacy Collection for beating each of them in the first encounter without a special weapon. I am working on recovering the progress on this game on my new console, on my new Nintendo account, and I just have to do X4's achievements from this recording, so I'm getting really close. So I already unlocked all the achievements again in this game, and the others. Mega Man X4 is the hardest one of the 4 in this set, obviously, so it'll take a while for me to get good at that game. Got a sub-boss here as well. Very poor. Also very poor. And he doesn't usually do that move more than once for me. So, he can send you straight downward while jumping if you're on the wall while he strikes it, for the record. I got a lot of extra lives in this playthrough for some reason. Not that I needed Like I said, I can no-miss this game. With 100% items collected. I'm not getting Zero's Beam Sabre with X in this playthrough, though, so... you know. I just want to do the game casually while talking about what goes on during the game. These electrifying enemies are a nuisance at best. You wouldn't blame me for using Zero here. Tunnel Rhino himself is also not that hard of a boss, and his weakness is the acid burst. So, take this guy out real quick. There. Now that we have Tunnel Rhino's weapon, the Tornado Fang, it is possible to get the life up in Blizzard Buffalo's stage, which is in this cluster of blocks. Even though this was a no-miss playthrough while recording it, I will be skipping some less relevant scenes of the playthrough, just to keep it as short and to the point as I possibly can. Mainly for item collection after getting what you need to get the items in question. Scenes like those. Alright, next up, I'm gonna do Neon Tiger. These enemies with the morning stars can be a bit intimidating. Another sub-tank. You just kinda have to go up close and personal with them with a fully charged shot. I might as well add some juice to my new sub-tank while I'm here. That's my laptop struggling. You need the tornado fang to see what's behind here, as well as the leg parts. It's a light capsule. Alright, so this is where you get the buster parts for a quote-unquote better charge shot. Charging your shots with this upgrade is a bit of a pain though, because it severely reduces your mobility around enemies for dodging their attacks. It's kinda slow to execute, and you can't shoot them while you're on a ladder. Sub-tank for me. The arm part also gives you the ability to charge special weapons for their alternate use, and it also increases the speed in which you climb up and down ladders. Get the sub-boss out of here. That was not what I wanted to happen, and it inflicted a lot of damage, no less. We're gonna ride this dragonfly enemy, and just go to where the building at the gate is, and there's a life up on the ceiling. No problem. I can take Neon Tiger with just the buster. Just keep in mind that he blocks charge shots, so you have to rely on uncharged hits. Stand still. See, told you it wasn't that hard. If you memorize how he shoots with the ray splasher, he's not that hard. Next up is Gravity Beetle. Just realized I got a wall jump thing. Boost upward for this. I want to dash up, not forward. That's better. This item that I got is one of the alternate ride armors, though you cannot use any ride armor until a certain event in Blast Hornet stage. Which I'm gonna do after this one. Better. Alright, we made it to the boss room. You can make short work of the Gravity Beetle by using the Ray Splasher. Just remember that he automatically hops towards you with each hit with it, and that does mean you're required to do some wall jumping during the battle. Otherwise, you can pretty much make a joke out of him. Alright, let's do Blast Hornet now. That's what I hate about the Buster upgrade. You can't move while shooting the first charge shot. That's awful for attack dodging. Ah. You gotta fight some kind of computer virus. This is the sub-boss. You have to dash kick. What's with all the extra lives? Alright, I gotta do some health grinding. Alright, we're gonna use the Tornado Fang to break this. I'm gonna destroy this magnet enemy. And we have access to ride armor now. Since we did Gravity Beetle's stage, there's no intermission where you have to destroy cargo before it gets loaded onto an aircraft. And we can use the ride armor to get this stage's life up. The RNG was harsh on me for bit, and it was for byte as well. Whatever, procrastination hurts anyway. You wanna dash kick on the wall, because the magnet he puts on the wall pulls you towards him. It makes it more susceptible to get hit with his power punch move. Whereas if you're dashing while wall kicking, you can dodge it. Again, defeat him with the Buster if and only if you want to fight God Car Machine Oinari, which with Bite is particularly annoying to deal with. Great power can be generated from within the OG Reploid because he was created by Dr. Thomas Light, the greatest mechanical scientist in the world of Mega Man. One that always knew right from wrong. I am not satisfied in the slightest with the amount of damage I took in this stage. The entire stage I've been getting pummeled. And none of it was against bite. Well, at least the gravity well will make Blast Hornet himself easy. Even if you use the gravity well, though, he can summon his B-bombs, which can stick onto you and stay on you, even while he's getting hit with the attack. So you gotta watch out for that. That doesn't happen in this playthrough, though. So, yeah. Do you know how the original Mega Man X has stages that are affected by completing other stages? Blast Hornet and Gravity Beetle stages are like that in Mega Man X3. However, we're gonna get an item in Toxic Seahorse's stage first, now that I have the ride armor and the arm part. We're going to use the charged version of the Frost Shield after the Bit and Bite room. In the clean water, essentially. Ride it up. Do a welling dash. And here's the kangaroo ride armor. In the original Mega Man X, beating Chill Penguin causes the lava to freeze in Flame Mammoth stage, and beating Storm Eagle would crash the Death Rockamer and cause a blackout in Spark Mandrill stage. After you deal with Blast Hornet, the cargo at the start of Gravity Beetle stage is gone, and the rocket, missile enemies will become significantly weaker. The removal of the cargo, though, makes it possible to get the life up. Alright, without further ado, let's do the Volt Catfish. You might have trouble seeing the laser beams in this video because of the frame rate. So, if you haven't dealt with him yet, this is where you're gonna have to face Vile. In at least 3 of the stages, this one, and I know for a fact Crush Crawfish and Blizzard Buffalo, there's a route that leads to a mysterious capsule that takes you to this factory scene where Vile is waiting for you. If you use the charged version of the Gravity Well, you can actually use the elevators. I'm gonna try to get my sub-tanks boosted though. I got low. Alright, let's do this. Again, I hate the buster part in this game. I'll use a special weapon against the ride armor, and then I'm actually gonna beat Vile without a special weapon. Like Bit and Bite, if you defeat Vile with a special weapon, you'll kill him. And if you finish him off with the X-Buster, he escapes and becomes one of the Doppler bosses. In my opinion, making Vile survive makes that stage easier, and killing him in the factory makes that stage harder. A lot harder. You also have to kill Vile within this factory in order to have X get Zero's Beam Sabre. After dealing with him, you have to escape the factory quickly before it explodes. And of course, they have these there to slow you down. This, we go right back to the beginning of the Volt Catfish stage. It's also in a trolley spot, kind of, in Crushed Crawfish stage, and in a well-hidden place in Blizzard Buffalo stage, this factory area. As kind of an alternative way to find it in any playthrough. We're gonna be very careful as we wall jump up this wall and grab the life up. And on our way back down as well. That was close. You need the arm part and the gravity well for what we're gonna get up here. It's a light capsule. This capsule contains the body armor upgrade, which reduces the amount of damage you receive by 50%. And it makes a blue energy field come around X as he takes damage to show you that he's taken less damage than he otherwise would. The sub-tank here requires a ride armor. There are 4 different kinds of ride armor. Each one can be unlocked in a different stage. You got the ordinary armor, which is the Chimera. The one you get in Gravity Beetle stage is the Frog, which is a pretty slow and one with awful mobility, though it's the only one that can survive in water. And you can kind of float while in the water with it. The one that we got from Toxic Seahorse is the Kangaroo, which allows you to do a charged dash punch. And there's one in Crushed Crawfish's stage called the Hawk, which allows you to hover with it and shoot rockets instead of punching. For Volt Catfish, we're gonna use the Tornado Fan. The Triad Thunder and the Buster part are required for getting some items in the Tunnel Rhino stage and the Crushed Crawfish stage. We're going to charge up the Triad Thunder here for the life up. This is shortly after the start of the stage. And there's another hanging boulder that's also dropped in the same way after the Bit and Bite room. This is where the head part is. The head part can be useful for a first playthrough, if you need an idea on where all of the different items in each stage are located. It'll show you a map at the beginning of the stage with reticles on where the items are located, as you're about to see for Crushed Crawfish. The stage select page itself will also tell you what items are left in question. If it's written in red, it means that item is still missing. We're gonna ignore the question mark ones for a very specific reason. The question mark items are the enhancement chips. If you're unaware about the existence of the hyper chip, you can only use one of the special armor enhancements of the 4, and so you'd have to choose them wisely. I'm ignoring them because I know about the hyper chip. Charge up the Triad Thunder and use it here. And that's how you get the Hawk Ride armor. Let's use the Hawk Ride armor. Do a well-aimed dash jump onto this one and break the wall with the ride armor for a life up. I have no reason to be doing this with the ride armor. Gotta be careful around these dodge shooters. Yep, no sub-tank for me. What we're basically doing is destroying the reactor of the submarine and sinking it. And the boss is waiting inside. Even with his respective weakness, the Triad Thunder, Crush Crawfish might be the hardest boss in this game of the main 8 to beat without taking damage. So, alright, that should be all the items. And we are ready to confront Dr. Doppler now. From here on out, the password save is meaningless. So on. Let's go. This part's a little bit scary. Nice. This part is even scarier. Yes. If you do one kind of dash even slightly incorrectly at that part, you die. So, gotta be careful. I hate how these wall climbers deflect your shots with their charge as soon as you align with them. Sub-boss. You can take this one out quickly with 4 spinning blade hits. And then Zero talks to you. No. Alright, I gotta do some grinding. hyper chip is down here along the left wall as you slide down. Here it is. The hyper chip will only appear if you have all of the items, and if you have full health. With the hyper chip, you can use all of the 4 different chip effects that are marked by the question marks on the remaining items list with the head part. The leg chip allows you to double dash in midair, allowing excellent aerial mobility for dodging attacks. The Buster chip decreases the amount of energy your weapons use, and it allows you to use the Hyper Cannon, which is basically the fully charged Buster shot. That recharges upon taking damage instead with weapon capsules. The body part reduces the damage you take to 75%. Essentially, you take even less damage compared to normal. And the head chip makes your vitality regenerate while standing still. Since we killed both Bit and Bite, we're fighting the Press Disposer as the boss, which is a lot easier in my opinion. Though it's going to take a while to land hits with the Tornado Fang. Which I'm not sure if it's even his actual weakness. He shakes before he drops. You just can't see it in the video because of the frame rate. Now that he's trunkless, it'll be easier to land hits on. There. If you killed Vile in the factory area, the enemies and layout of this stage are significantly harder. You get stronger versions of the dodging enemies at the very start of the Toxic Seahorse stage, which are extremely tedious to deal with. There's also water added in certain parts of the stage, and there's even a boss that'll only appear there and then. Meaning if you let Vile live, the boss in question doesn't appear, and that boss is how you get Zero's Beam Sabre. If you killed Vile, this is where you fight the Mosquitoes. You can fight it with Zero, and if you attack it with the Beam Sabre, it'll crash onto and detonate onto Zero, nearly killing him. And he'll entrust X with the Beam Sabre as he retreats to Dr. Kane. And then X can use a Saber Slash after using the fully charged shot with the Buster, which is the most powerful weapon in the game, and can take out bosses with a few hits. And of course, it's also a hidden achievement in the Legacy Collection. This part aggravated me a little bit. The problem is that you have to wait as they climb you up spike walls, and it's very easy to lose your precision and fall off, having to go through this again from the beginning. Yeah, that was bull, across the board. No deaths along the way, I just had to climb that distance all the way again, losing a precious minute, which is not good. Alright, let's finish off Vile for real. The Goliath part was no problem. Now just fighting a slightly stronger version of what he was like in the factory area. Not sure what his real weakness is. Had trouble landing a few hits on him. We're alright though. Interesting how the lower sentences of that text input slowly, just to make Vile's dying words seem more grim. Alright, got that out of the way. Next up, Boss Rush. as per series tradition, you have to fight the 8 main bosses again at this part of the game. I'm just gonna skip most of them because the results are pretty much exactly the same as they were earlier in the playthrough. This capsule's where Blast Hornet is. The boss rush is always my least favorite part to watch on any Mega Man long play on YouTube, so... There's this kind of vending machine that can get you health and weapon capsules if you shoot it in between boss fights. I'll actually show the Blizzard Buffalo rematch, since I have his weakness now, which is the parasitic bomb. Gotta be careful not to get caught by him while his horns are lit up. In particular. I'm gonna skip most of the bosses, just so the video seems a bit more convenient. This capsule is Volt Catfish. This one is Gravity Beetle. This one is Tunnel Rhino. This one is Crush Crawfish. This one is Toxic Seahorse. And the final one here is Neon Tiger, which I'll actually show in order to showcase its weakness, which is the spinning blade. Not really much of a weakness, though. So I managed to get my sub-tanks filled, thanks to my head chip. And the weapon I need is already filled, so let's go. I'm not waiting for these lasers. I forgot there's a dodge blaster here. Or whatever they're really called. And now we fight Dr. Doppler himself. I used the acid burst on him. You have to wait for him to attack in order to land a hit on him, because he has an energy field that can absorb damage and in fact heal him. So you only attack while he's attacking. And you need a direct hit with the acid burst for it to be a real weakness. Otherwise, he's not that tough. I accidentally shot before he started attacking, so yeah. Bad move. There, got him. Then after you beat him, he explains about Sigma and where to find his new body. Alright, let's finish the game up. Give me a moment for the head chip to recover the point of damage I took here. Now go. So while Zero's doing what he's doing, we're gonna confront Sigma. Alright, here we go. At lower amounts of health, he'll start to throw his shield like a boomerang. For me, at least, I'm gonna have to rely on the Buster. And use well-aimed charge shots on his head. Not good. Alright, I gotta heal. Alright, got him. Alright, then from there, you have to wall jump and climb a narrowing way to the top with lava rising underneath you and Sigma's virus trying to chase you. And even though I was careful trying to climb up, I still couldn't help getting caught in the lava and taking damage consistently. Maybe I should try climbing the other way to avoid Sigma's virus. This Legacy Collection wasn't censored for language, like Mega Man 7 was. And then either Zero or Dr. Doppler will come in and destroy Sigma with a special vaccine for the virus, depending on whether or not you got the Beam Sabre. And then they escape the collapsing lab. And you're given the epilogue. Yeah, for those of you unfamiliar with the Mega Man to Mega Man X story, Zero was actually created by Dr. Wily just before death. So Zero is like the original Maverick, and X doesn't realize it. And I guess having to kill Zero to save the world is kind of one of the ways that the game can end in Mega Man X5. So, no staff credits in this game, just a lineup of a listing of the names of all the enemies. So, yeah. And with that is going to wrap up the Let's Play. Consider subscribing or at least checking out my channel if you like any of the franchises I have listed here, because I do play and talk about them a lot and want to keep doing so for my channel. I am also a hobbyist artist that makes a lot of fan art of characters and franchises that I like, and will occasionally come out with more Let's Plays of different games like this one, mostly retro games that I have that I feel like playing for my channel for sport. I have quite a lot planned for the channel, honestly, so consider checking me out if you are interested. So that is going to wrap up this Mega Man Let's Play. I am Colster, Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and I will see you on my next upload, wherever the content might be.